If you're visiting Montreal, there's one place you need to see, even if you're not religious. Welcome to the Oratory Saint-Joseph, an architectural masterpiece, a cultural gem, and an experience that goes way beyond faith. Stick around because I'm going to show you why this spot should absolutely be on your itinerary. And trust me, this place is full of surprises. First thing first, keep in mind that the Oratory Saint-Joseph is open to all and is a major tourist attraction. Millions of tourists visit here each year for many reasons, such as tourism. That's exactly how I approach it today, from the perspective of a tourist and not a believer. A bit of history. The project to build this enormous basilica was started by Brother Andre, member of the Congregation of Holy Cross. He was kind of a big deal. He was officially recognized as a saint by the Pope on October 17, 2010, which is the ceremony we are looking at here. He thus became the first male Canadian-born saint. This honor followed a lifetime of service, during which he became world-renowned for performing miracles like healing the sick. His fame helped him raise funds to build a small chapel, which kept growing until it became the massive basilica we see today. Construction took over 60 years, involved thousands of workers, and even outlasted the original architects. But that's enough history for today. Getting here is quite easy, since it is located close to downtown Montreal. There is a large paid parking lot in the front, or you can also take the 465 bus located on Guy Street downtown that will take you right in front of the Oratory. Alternatively, you can also take the orange line of the Montreal Metro to Snowden Station, and from there, either walk or take the bus. Everyone's initial impression is awe at the size of the building, and then the daunting realization that there are so many stairs. But fear not, the main entrance is not up the stairs, but rather at the reception building, which has elevators and escalators. You can go up the stairs if you want to, but I suggest taking the stairs to exit later on. You will notice that the center of the stairs are wooden, 99 wooden steps to be exact. It is not uncommon to see pilgrims climbing those steps on their knees as a form of devotion and penitence. If you see people going up on their knees, use the concrete steps to not disturb them. Without a doubt, the outside is truly impressive, but let's get inside. As I mentioned, the main entrance is through this greeting center on the right at ground level. This will take you up the hill underground until you enter the basilica through the crypt. There is someone at a desk waiting to greet you, but it's pretty straightforward, literally. The entrance is quite modern with large skylights and wooden accents. The experience of slowly rising to the heavens and seeing the basilica above felt spiritual, which is a good thing considering the context. There's a really nice gift shop midway up, and man, they had their merch game in order. There were calendars, magnets, statues, books, toys, everything you can imagine. They even had their own mixtapes that they produced right here at St. Joseph's Oratory. People were lining up to buy the stuff. I heard many people purchasing hundreds of dollars of items. I wasn't really looking to purchase anything, but I probably would have bought a little souvenir if the line wasn't so long. It was honestly a well thought out shop that is still worth a look, even if you aren't looking to buy something. Right across the way is La Sainte Fringale, a family-friendly restaurant. The food options were mainly diner-style food, with local dishes on the menu. This is the only place on the entire site of the basilica that sells food, so get a snack here before continuing to adventure on. I ordered a vegetarian panini with french fries and a coffee, which cost me around $15. It was honestly really good. They hand you this little device that rings once your food is ready. Pretty convenient if you have kids or are a group. The rest of the greeting center has a small exposition at the highest level, which talks a bit about the history of the place. You will see a lot of history on display throughout your visit. So follow the last corridor to finally enter the basilica and into my favorite room, the votive chapel. This beautiful room is dedicated to St. Joseph, the namesake of the entire site. The ambiance feels deeply spiritual. The warmth and glow of 1,000 candles fills the space. Ornate Art Deco relief panels are hung around the room, each one depicting different scenes of the life of St. Joseph. As I mentioned earlier, there are hundreds of crutches that are said to belong to people who were healed by Brother Andre. In terms of design, unlike a lot of traditional European-style churches, the interior of the oratory is strikingly modern and minimalist. The clean lines, the dramatic lighting, it's a unique and powerful experience to just step inside. It's peaceful, it's grand, and you don't have to be religious to appreciate how special this place feels. An unexpected addition to this area of the church is through this little passage. The designers decided to maintain this small area where you can see the rock upon which the church is built. Probably the least religious room of the building, I would say it is rather a testament to the amazing construction work that took place to make this on the side of a mountain. Since this is a natural facade, you can hear the water that seeps through the mountain into the room. Right next to the votive chapel is the Crypt church. My understanding is that this area is used more than the main hall for services and meetings. Once again, completely open to the public, it is a grand room with beautiful arches and a magnificent org at the back. I sat for a moment to listen to the people singing and the speech going on, but ultimately I left out of respect. If you do enter the room during service, I recommend you stay at the back and keep your voice low. From there, I decided to step back outside. At this point, I was about halfway up the site. As you climb further up the steps of the oratory, you get an incredible view of the western side of the city of Montreal. It was cloudy, so not the best visibility, but the panoramic view of the region was astounding. I recommend that you take in the moment to really appreciate the scale of the church. It truly is a masterpiece. If you are feeling a bit adventurous, walk around to the back of the church to visit the original chapel from 1904 that was built on the site before the oratory. It's teeny tiny, measuring just a couple meters in each direction. And yes, you can enter it. It really is astounding to see the humble beginnings of Brother Andre, which ended up growing into what it is today. Keep in mind, some people still pray here, so enter quietly. Afterwards, it was finally time to visit the main hall. It truly is a breathtaking room. The grand arches and epic domed roof, the contrast between the basilica's classical Italian Renaissance exterior and the contemporary expressionist interior are powerful, yet in harmony. If the Jedi Order were put in charge of designing a church, it would probably look something like this. Everything from the art on the walls, the lights hanging from the ceiling, to the stained glass murals are all unlike any church of this size. The influences of the era of construction, so the space age of the 1950s, is present all throughout the basilica. That's not to say that it isn't ornate like other grand churches. Sculptured gold and bronze decorations abound, accentuated by precious stones. Intricate tile murals span the entire height of the room, leading your eye up to the grand dome. Truly a fantastic work of art, architecture, and religious devotion. On the floors below the Grand Hall, you will find various rooms that talk about the history of the church and the people who made it possible. There's even a museum that you have to pay a few dollars to access. In fact, most people don't know that there is a museum on site, so if you love history, you should definitely check it out. There's another smaller gift shop area where you can buy jewelry and statues. If you exit outside at this level, it will lead you out to another observation point that has this large sculpture in the middle. In the spring and summer, you can reach the gardens to the left of the main building from here, but sadly they weren't open yet when I visited. All in all, St. Joseph's Oratory is a tourist destination which just so happens to be a religious site, if that makes sense. If you are religious, that's just an added value, but you don't need to be to visit. It is filled with so much history and so much wonder. Its multiple levels and corridors seem almost designed to keep you exploring and curious. There is just so much beauty to appreciate, with wonderful views and sights. I highly recommend you visit this Montreal landmark, It's a great cold or rainy day activity when you're in the city. What other historic sites would you like to know more about? Have you ever visited the Oratory? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.